Well, hello, winners. This is Coach BU coming to you live from the Swanee Dam Park. This has been my place of solace for a long time. I have come here many times when things are just going right or things are just not going right. This seems to be my place of peace. When I lived in Los Angeles, my place of peace was going along PCH, parking my car, and taking a look out at the ocean from my car. Any of you Los Angeles folks, I hope you guys are recovering well from all the calamity you guys dealt with during the Los Angeles fires. My heart and my prayers go out to you. Well, I want to come to you live today and I want to talk to you a little bit about time management. We're going to be launching a new series called Work-Life Balance from the Bedroom to the Boardroom. And no, I'm not going to be talking about any saucy stuff in the bedroom. I'm going to be talking about how to have good lives at home, whether you're married, you're single, you're divorced, whatever your situation, and how you can be fully satisfied in whatever those situations are for you, as well as how do you rule it in your career? How do you really boss up in your career? And so, as you know, we just finished a series on side hustles, and I asked everyone to share with me what they would like for me to do some steak dinners on later on. And someone said she was having a hard time balancing her corporate job and her side hustle. She wanted some tips and tools on how to balance. So, we're going to do a whole series just on that one request. And my marketing team is busy putting together the email marketing and putting together the graphics. And of course, I'm a particular type of CEO. And so therefore, I am overseeing that collective project. But I am excited about coming to you Tuesdays at 7:30. Join my YouTube channel, subscribe so that you can get the alerts. But today I want to just give you a tidbit about CEO Day. If you are thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, I strongly suggest you read a book called E-Myth by Michael Gerber. I was introduced to this book from my previous employer. He was a book junkie, and we were book junkies together, and we would trade books all the time. And this is one of the books that he highly recommended. I read it, and it's phenomenal. Then I later got my business certification, and guess what? One of the books that was involved with the certification, E-Myth. The main concept of E-Myth, and I'm going to add on another book called 10X is Easier Than 2X because I just finished reading that book and that was a life-changing read for me. 10X is easier than 2X. And so that book alone can be attributed to the staff that's going to be hired this year because it definitely taught me that I have to let go of some of the reins so that I can delegate by hiring the right staff and the right talent so that I can fulfill the full potential of my life. And so when we're talking about E-Myth, E-Myth has a concept that you are 3 in 1 when you're a solopreneur. And I want to help people go from being solopreneurs to entrepreneurs. Okay. Entrepreneurs are people with ideas that will take risks with their time and their money. But if you're a solopreneur, you really just are employed by your job. And we don't want to exchange hours for dollars. We want to learn how we can make our money go to work for us. And so with the CEO Day, this is a planning day. So the E-Myth book believes that you have 3 different types of people. You that in one when you're a solopreneur. You have the entrepreneur who is the visionary, always living in the future. Anybody ever worked for an entrepreneur, they got more ideas than you can shake a stick at, right? They're very much a visionary about solving problems that people encounter in the world. And if you solve problems for people, you're going to make profits. So make sure you know who your ideal client is. You're going to hear me say that every single time I go live. Fall in love with your ideal client, as Tony Robbins would say. Look, the wind's blowing. My hair ain't looking crazy, but the wind's blowing. But do what Tony Robbins says. Fall in love with your ideal client, and you'll be able to service their needs, and people will pay you for value, right? So, an entrepreneur is always a visionary looking forward to the future, but good entrepreneurs are great at identifying talent and staff. And then the other in the E-Myth is the manager. The manager is the planner. The manager is the person who's been in the past, who knows how things worked in the past, and is designed to manage and plan out how do you execute the vision that the entrepreneur has. Then you have the technician, and the technician is the doer. He is present day. He's right here. He's right now. Let's get it done. Let's execute. And when you are launching a side business, or you're a small business owner with no employees, that's who I'm really talking to here. And if you have a bigger company, you can learn from this too. But I'm really speaking to the solopreneur. I'm really speaking to the person who is launching their side hustle, the person who has training wheels on business launches, right? You're learning how to do it, right? So understand that you are going to be three in one: the entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician. So you need to have the vision, you need to manage the vision and plan for it, and you need to execute the vision until you are to a place where you can hire more people to help you with your vision. Now, can I give you a pro tip? And we're going to call it a winner's tip. Here's a winner's tip. When you're a solopreneur, you're going to have to leverage 1099 employees, 1099 contractors, as well as talent for hire that you would find on like Fiverr.com or Upwork. You want to find talent that can help you, that get projects done. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you a pro tip or a winner's tip with regards to not getting in trouble with the IRS. I know I can count right now 7 companies that have their employees acting and paying them as 1099 contractors. But if someone has to report to your office, they have to work a schedule and you oversee how they do the work, according to the IRS, they cannot be a 1099 contractor. Now, the reason why these companies can fly under the radar, it's because they're too small for the IRS to pay attention to. But if they were audited, they would have to pay for tax evasion, because that's what the IRS considers it. So you want to do your due diligence, check with your accountant, check with your attorney, check the IRS.gov website, so you understand what is supposed to be a 1099 contractor and what is supposed to be an employee. They have a form online that tells you if they do XYZ, they have to be categorized as a W-2 employee. If they're otherwise, then they're 1099 contractors. And so you don't want to get caught in the crosshairs of the IRS. So just do what you're supposed to be doing when it comes to categorizing the people who help you. But as a solopreneur who you can't afford W-2 employees yet, you want to leverage contractors, Fiverr, and Upwork. Now, if you aren't to the place where you can even hire someone from those platforms, then you need to make sure you schedule yourself well. You need to schedule CEO days, days where you stop and you get really tight with your vision. You start to begin to look at, what is the vision of my company? Where do I want to go? I'm going to tell you, I haven't sat down and done my vision, my CEO day in a long while, because I'm a visionary. So I've written it down 10 times over. I read it all the time, yada, yada, yada. But I said, the Holy Spirit, let me back up. The Holy Spirit, who is my CEO, he's the real CEO of Breakthrough for Life. He was like, I want you to do a new planner and I want you to follow it to the letter. I was like, God, I've done this 10 times over. And he's like, yep. And that's what got you where you are now. And that's what's going to get you to where you want to go. And so today I took a good portion of today and I just set it at Polito's, and you guys are going to see a reel come out about that later. And I had lunch and I planned out my day. I planned out the vision for Breakthrough for Life and the other companies that I get an opportunity to partake in. And let me tell you what a CEO day looks like. Now, you can change it. The beauty of being an entrepreneur is that you get to beat to your own drum. You don't have to do what anybody tells you to do. You can do what works for you, but you want to be open-minded, because there's a lot of great entrepreneurs out there that can give you a lot of great tips on how to help you win without the DIY mistakes that many people make. And so an entrepreneur's day, our CEO day is your entrepreneurial time. That is your vision day. That's when you're going to sit down and ask yourself this question: what does the future look like long term? 1 year, 3 year, 5 year. When you have this blocked out time, it's also a great time for you to do competitive research. Why would you do competitive research on your CEO day? It's your vision day for your business, not for other businesses. Why? Because you can get great ideas. I am sure that many of the disruptors of this world, and we're talking about Airbnb disrupted the hotel industry. We're talking about Uber disrupted the taxi industry. We're talking about Redbox and Netflix who disrupted Blockbuster's rental industry. Okay, disruptors, they studied their competitors. They studied, they looked, and they were looking for the gaps in their industry, understanding where is my industry going, how can I plan, how can I be ahead of the game, how can I seize opportunities. And that means you have to write the vision and make it plain. Beloved, that's why the Holy Spirit told me, stop, Brenda, I need you to have a CEO day. I need you to plan. I need you to look at the industry of marketing and the industry of coaching and personal development, and look and at your competitors so you can get ideas, not copy ideas. You clear? We don't copy people. We're originators. We have Elohim on the inside of us so we can create new and great things. Okay? There may not be anything new under the SUN, but everything is new in the SON. So you want to tap into Jesus and his creativity and the spirit of Elohim that lives in you through the Holy Spirit so you can come up with witty ideas to create wealth and leave a legacy and live a life of contribution and significance. So you want to take time out. Depending on the size of your company, you may take a CEO day once a week. I'm back to CEO days once a week because there's a lot of vision that I need to get implemented. But then you also are going to need to have manager days, days where you are planning out how do I get the vision executed. So let's go back to the entrepreneur because that's all I'm going to talk about today is the CEO day. Um, Another reason why you're going to do competitive research is so you can get the competitive edge. So you can look at the gaps in your industry and see how can I fill them uniquely. And when you are able to fill them uniquely, put together an irresistible offer around that fulfillment of value, the release of pain, the release of pressure for someone else, they are going to add value to you. And so the last reason why you're going to want to do competitive research is look at the direction of your industry. My industry, coaching, is unregulated, and the vending machine industry is very regulated, especially for the type of vending I'm looking to do with Two Farm Chicas. So, with that being said, I want to keep an eye, I want to keep a pulse on what's going on so I don't get blindsided by regulations that may hamper my ability to service my clients and create a value for value exchange. Okay. What do you mean by by value exchange, Brenda? I mean, I give you something that you feel is valuable that's going to make your life better, relieve your pain, release your pressure, create convenience, or entertain you, and you pay me for that. That's what I mean by value for value. It's a biblical concept and principle. And so I want to just share that with you guys today. If you're looking at becoming an entrepreneur or you have a side hustle that you eventually want to become your main hustle, I really want you to stop and think about where can I create a CEO day, a CEO block where I'm just doing visionary future stuff, looking at my business. Now, I had a very good coach out there. I'm assuming she's a good coach. I didn't certify her, so I don't know. But I'm assuming she's a very good coach. But she sent me something about, your side hustle is it isn't a side hustle. Stop treating it like a grind when it's a ministry. And I thought that is an interesting concept. And I love it when people send me stuff that challenges my thinking and things of that nature. But I want to share a little tidbit. So I'm going to give you a ministry pro tip. Okay. There is no such thing as secular, and there is no such thing as ministry separation. When you are a Christian, you are a Christian 24/7, 365. Yeah, 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 yeah. Even when you doing stuff you ain't supposed to be doing, yep, you still blood bought and washed, right? That's why he came. And so everything I do is ministry. I don't care if I'm sweeping the floor, it's ministry because my life, my breath is spent to help others live better. I want to draw people to Jesus and I want people to walk in his promises for their lives. Every business I have aligns with that belief that Jesus makes life better. You can agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. I'm not even looking at the comments, so I don't even know what you guys are saying because I don't know how to do that on the app. But on the mobile app. But at the end of the day, your ministry, she's absolutely right. We shouldn't reduce our side hustles to just a grind. She's right in that sense. But my thing is, everything I do is ministry. When I am being extra nice to the waitress that I sat and occupied 2.5 hours of her booth, I paid her like 3 times the amount tip. Why? Because I'm messing with her money. That was ministry. And me and her got to talk and laugh. And, it was funny because one of the young guys in there, I'm telling you what, God be, when I need a ego boost or a little pat on the back, let me know I still got it. Got to send some little young cat to come holler at me. And this little young cat, I walked in and look, I walked in and the first thing he said is, "I love your shoes." So I'm gonna try to show y'all my shoes. I don't know how I'm gonna do this on here, so we're gonna do it. So I'm wearing these. Can you see them? I hope you can see these shoes. So I'm wearing. They look like house shoes, right? But they're actually not house shoes. And but they're comfortable. And I wanted to come to the park and I wanted to ground, so I didn't want to have tennis shoes on. But anyhow, I walked in and the little young cat giving me compliments the whole time I'm there. Little sweetheart. He's probably younger than my son, but little sweetheart. And he was like, I love your shoes. Then he walked by later. He said, "Man, you are really productive. You really got." He saw me sit down and write out all of my goals, 1 and 3 years. He said, "Man, you are really productive." And then the manager came by and said, "Oh, you smell so good. Every time I walk past your booth, you're smelling good." I got to spend 2.5 hours and engaging with these people. They're giving me compliments and I'm loving on them back. That's ministry, beloved. That's ministry. When you love on people from an unconditional place, people who can't do nothing for you, that's love. That's ministry. Ministry isn't all that you do. And if you look at it like that, you'll have a greater experience in this life. And so when I'm out and about, I'm loving on people. I'm sharing with people. I'm praying with people. I'm listening to people struggle, right? Because I love hearing people's story. I don't necessarily like reading about people's testimonies, but I love hearing their story in the moment of their story. And I am the person who, if you tell me you got a problem, my brain goes into automatic, how do we help you fix it as fast as possible? That's just how I'm wired. That's how I'm gifted. And so I want you guys to think about your side hustles and how can you have your side hustles be a part and an essence of your ministry. That doesn't mean you give it away for free. Remember what I said earlier. Value for value is a biblical concept, right? But I really want you guys. I'm sorry, there's a motorcycle in the back. I bet it's a really nice Harley too. I love motorcycles. I don't like riding them, but I love looking at them. But my whole goal in telling you this is let all that you do be a heart of ministry. Let all that you do be about uplifting people, adding value to people, making people feel loved and like they belong. Because the reality is, most of the people who are struggling with mental illness, most of the people who are struggling in this life and on antipsychotic drugs, I bet you it goes back to two things. Do they feel loved and do they feel like they belong? And when you make people feel like that, people gravitate to you. I have a very close friend of mine, and he said to me one day, he said, "I see why you're real closed off with how close people can get to you." And I looked at him and I said, "Well, why you say that? I want to be approachable. I want people to feel like they can come and talk to me about anything. Now, you come talk to me about some foolishness and some deep, sleeping with somebody else's husband. You may not want my advice. I'm just gonna be 100. I'm straight, no chaser. I'm gonna call a spade every day of the week." But he said this to me, and I told him, I said, "Well, why do you say that?" And he said, "Because you are such a giver. You are so generous. You really are a good person, and people would take advantage of you if you didn't have boundaries." So I'm gonna leave you guys with this tip. On your CEO day, you want to live a life where you give to everybody else. You want to live a life of significance. You want to live a life of contribution. You want to leave a legacy for this world and your children. But remember to also feed you. You need to have days where you are not giving to anybody else but yourself. You need to have moments of time in your life where your self care is taken care of. For me, I am adamant. I have blocked off that time for years. When I decided I was no longer going to be a workaholic, I really worked hard to create a schedule that was going to be conducive for self love and self care. And so over this summer, you will see me at the Swanee Dam Park, and I will be painting. I've already decided that I'm going to start back to painting. I got to find me a new instructor because I want to learn and master that craft. Because guess what? Having hobbies make you sharper in your work. It also helps me decompress because I deal with a lot of heavy stuff. I mean, this weekend, I found out that one of my a cousin that used to live with me is literally in the hospital with a brain lesion, and he had a seizure, and I think he had a heart attack as well. And I deal with a lot of heavy every day, not just professionally but personally. And when you're dealing with a lot, you need to be able to recoup. You need to be able to re-establish yourself in being grounded with God and knowing where you are in your walk. Oh, I got some great. Okay, I figured out how to get to the comments. Oh my goodness, this is one of my certified coaches, Teresa. If you are a mom, if you need help, if you're a mompreneur, you got kids, you want to connect with Teresa. She is one of my certified coaches. She is phenomenal. She has her own business. I'm so excited for her. I hope she's still taking clients and thriving. But she also has, I think, 4 or 5. I keep giving her an extra child. I think she has 4 kids. And she's a homeschool mom with a beautiful marriage. I just love giving shout outs. So thank you so much. And thank you for calling me beautiful. I appreciate that. Thank you. And so let's see what else out here. Um, let's see. Oh, here's another one from Teresa. And she's saying, I remember these in my life coaching certification program at Breakthrough for Life. Powerful. Y'all, since she's talking about the life coaching certification program, let me share a thing or two with you. Somebody asked, are you the only one on this live? No, you're not. There are other people on this live as well. So my life coaching certification, we are enrolling for new students. The new class starts April 12th. If you're interested in becoming a certified life coach, you want to get a part of the Breakthrough for Life life coaching certification laboratory. It is an implementation lab. It's not where you have a talking head telling you what to do. No, I show you what to do. I have you role play what to do, and then I have you implement what you're doing. It is a powerful 18-week intensive cognitive behavior training program that doesn't only help you build a profitable business, but it helps you build lives. If you are in the arena of wanting to help people heal, grow, and thrive, then this certification program is for you. I'm going to teach you how to build a business, and I'm going to teach you how to get transformational results in the lives of others. Now, this is the caveat. For the people who are on my email list, guess what's going out as soon as I get home and draft it is an email to invite people who have been interested and have had a discovery call with me before. I'm going to let you come and audit my April 12th class for free. It's a 3-hour class, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, April 12th. You can come in and audit that class and see if it's worth the investment. I am not afraid of you coming in to see how I instruct teachers. I'm going to tell you how I instruct as a teacher, because I'm going to tell you, I've been a teacher since I was 5 years old. My Aunt Willa told me one day, I was a little girl and she wanted to, I asked her to play cards with me. She said, Brenda, I don't know how to play cards. And I grabbed her hand and I said, come on, Aunt Willa, I'll teach you how to play bridge. So I have been teaching since I was a little girl. That is one of the gifts that God has given me. And I'd love to have some people in that April 12th class, checking it out and seeing if you want to build a business in a box and live a life on purpose. So thank you for being here, Teresa. So excited to have you. And thank you for your recommendation. I truly, truly appreciate it. Now, let me tell you, if you are interested in the life coaching certification program, where I don't only teach you the EMT method, I teach you a variety of tools, systems, and streamlining opportunities for you to build your business where you can work on your business and not in your business from building it from scratch, you guys. So you want to definitely get into that. So thank you so much for highly recommending it. I really appreciate that. And I am going to pull that off. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to let you guys run. This is Coach BU. Plan your CEO day. Have a day where you get into the vision of your business, because when you sit down, okay, I'm gonna give you this one last thing. I always got so much to give when I come live. There's so much information that I utilize to really thrive in my business. And one of the things that I use is the Brandon Bouchard High Performance Planner. And in the beginning of it, he has what is called okay, I don't know if you guys can see this. He has what is called wow, that didn't go well. He has what is called there you go, a life vision, primary aspirations, and he has you break down your stuff in a whole life assessment. So I did all of this today. And let me tell you, that whole write the vision and make it plain became very real for me. I really felt excited. I was discouraged when when I woke up this morning. I'm not going to lie, I'm a transparent coach. I was discouraged. I had a really rough night the night before. And I woke up today and I said, you know what? Guess what? I get to beat to my own drum. I am the author and the designer of my destiny because I chose to trust God and become an entrepreneur. So no one has to dictate anything to me. I stay in step with the Holy Spirit and He keeps prospering me. And I thank you. I thank God for the opportunities that I have. And so I hope that you guys will. You don't have to get the Brandon Bouchard planner, and I plan on coming out with my own planner at some point when I have a little bit more staff. But I'm gonna tell you, every day that I sit down and I do this planner and I plan out my day and I focus in on what I got to get done, I get more things done, because this is the last winner's tip I'm gonna give you. The more you've got to do, the more organized you need to be. So find the tools that are going to help you be organized so that you can live your life at full potential and craft a winning life that you can fall in love with every day. So this is Coach BU, Brenda Underwood with Breakthrough for Life. I hope that you will reach out and schedule a discovery call with me if you are interested in becoming a life coach, or if you feel like you truly want to get one-on-one coaching so you can get next level results. I have a spring forward program that is going live, but it is discounted for the spring. However, you got to be on my email list. So if you're not a subscriber to Breakthrough for Life, you're not going to get the discounts. And I don't give a lot of discounts. Anybody who's certified by me knows I do not discount my stuff much. But I do currently have a clarity session that is discounted 40% up until April 15th. And so you can get in on that. You want to schedule a discovery call with me? That is free. Go to my website, breakthroughforlife.com. You can go and you can schedule a free discovery call there, and we're going to sit down and craft a custom coaching journey for you. But you'll get an opportunity to get 40% off a 90-minute clarity session where you will walk away with a clear goal achievement blueprint. I'm not one of those talking coaches. I'm one of those implementation coaches, because implementation is what gets you results. So this is Coach BU. I hope you guys have had a fabulous Saturday. Wasn't it beautiful? I love spring. I'm going to be in the park painting. So come check me out in Swanee. Coach